Aloha mai kako, a Komamai to Curtain Call, a program of reviews, previews, interviews, and features of and or with the great art and artists on Maui and beyond. I'm Paul James Brown. This week, I'm continuing my review of the 7th Schaefer Portrait Challenge. There is so much good work, one show was not enough. Entering the gallery, one is confronted with a stark contrast. On the right is a traditional portrait, one of the most traditional in this show, of Eduardo Joaquin's mother, Rosa Maria. And next to it, center, under the show's title, is this adventurous koa and ohia mixed media work, Ember, by Adair. That includes carving, joining, wood turning, wood burning, gold leaf, and oil painting of Alex, a non-binary author and licensed mental health counselor on Hawaii Island. There could hardly be a more stark contrast between styles, media, and subject. The last winner of the $15,000 Juror's Choice Prize in 2018, Kauai artist Natasha Young, did another magnificent painting called Daddy's Girl. It shows a mature-looking child sitting uncomfortably on her daddy's shoulder. He sports a large tattoo of a naked woman on the side of his chest. They both gaze off in different directions, seemingly into nothing. It is a haunting image by this most extraordinarily talented artist. This self-portrait collage by another Kauai artist, Penny Nichols, captures the title of this work perfectly. Arg! This is both a frustration and a horror being expressed here simultaneously. Another artist, Oahu's Arnold Borneos, has incorporated collage into his mixed media portrait of his daughter entitled Welcome to the World. It shows a masked, wide-eyed child in pigtails. Look closely at the collage elements. There's a story in them. This next one I have such mixed feelings about because, as you can see, the inspiration for this self-portrait by Oahu's Ed Tokars Harnas is one of the most sacred relics in all of Christendom, the Shroud of Turin. It is believed to be the cloth wrapped around Jesus Christ after he was taken down from the cross, and it is a photographic image of our Lord in his blood stained onto the cloth. Mr. Harnas, in his artist's statement, describes the Shroud of Turin as a manipulative marketing tool celebrating death and resurrection. Besides the blatant sacrilegiousness of this observation, his work called Tie-Dye Turin is a powerful, well-done work of art. Artists are constantly finding new media in which to express themselves, but in the 19 years this show has been in existence, I cannot recall a knitted work. But this year, Lisa Louie submitted this knit portrait of her husband at the bowling alley. I love the sweater he is wearing. I'd love for her to knit one for me. 3 notable works with spouses as subject matter are included in this show. The first one by Thomas James, entitled, quote, Question the Answers, honors his wife, Dr. Sally Irwin, who has been teaching at UH Maui College for a quarter of a century. In this work, Mr. James has used house paint and imagined himself in the class. It has an almost Grandma Moses feel to it. This next one looks like a portrait of Mariska Hargite, the longtime star of Law and Order SVU, but it is of the wife of the artist, Jeremiah Heller. She works with special needs children. Entitled Willing and Somber, she looks like a hard-working, conscientious person. Before I read the artist's statement, I saw something completely different than his stated intention in this oil on canvas entitled COVID Queen's Gambit by Rob Jones of Kauai. What I saw was Mr. Jones anthropomorphizing the COVID virus, which we see looming in the background, so it could checkmate him using the famous move popularized by the film. I thought, how brilliant. It's still what I see. I won't give away how wrong I was. I'll leave it for you to discover what the artist intended when you visit the show. Here is a self-portrait in handmade paper and fiber by Maui artist Rebecca Lewis. It shows the artist in the mouth of a bird. Entitled Becky Bird, it is a small piece with a big impact. Maui artist Maxwell Ross did this acrylic on canvas of musician and singer Jesse Thompson. The excellence of this work by this young artist cannot be overstated. Every artist will tell you the most difficult parts of the human body to portray are the hands and feet. Mr. Ross has certainly overcome that difficulty many times over. Blueprints, The Futile Efforts of Course Correction, is a mixed media piece by Maui's Alika Bustillos. In it, he recognizes and celebrates his late father's influence on him, both physically as well as behaviorally. The hand in the work gives it an added mysterious element. Barclay Hill often incorporates humor in his work. In Squid Dreams, he has done a death mask of his face in copper and attached it to a squid-like body that seems to be some form of electrical equipment with shielded wires and nuts for tentacles. This is one of the most unusual self-portrait paintings in the show. It shows the reflection of the artist Tomoko Ouchi from Kauai examining her gray hair in her bathroom mirror. Entitled Roots 55, it's the artist's look at herself without portraying her in a formal traditional portraiture manner. Very clever. Finally, I wanted to point out how special it is to be included as a subject in this show. There are approximately 1.44 million people in the state of Hawaii. Over the span of this show, there have been fewer than 400 pieces in the 7 shows. In this show, there are 47 pieces. That means there is one person in this show for every 30,638 people in the state. Pretty exclusive territory. So then, what are the chances that a couple would be represented by different artists in this show? Here is Elizabeth Keller's watercolor portrait of her twin sister Mary and she in their aloha shirts. And this is Jeremy Holfeld's portrait of Dr. Barry Sultanoff with his dog Emma. Ms. Mary Keller and Dr. Sultanoff are a couple, only on Maui. Every Schaefer Portrait Challenge is a highly anticipated occasion and never disappoints. It brings out our finest artists, and it is a real honor to be selected for this show. Congratulations to all 46 artists, and I am already looking forward to 2025 when the 8th Schaefer Portrait Challenge will debut. The 7th Schaefer Portrait Challenge is up until March 19th. All patrons are required to show proof of vaccination, which, as of January 24th, must include a booster shot per Maui County mandate, and a valid matching photo ID to enter the gallery. Photo of vaccination card on digital devices is acceptable. Masks are required to be worn over the nose and mouth at all times. Exhibit hours are Tuesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. The gallery is also open prior to and during intermission for select Castle Theater shows. Admission is free. You will need to allocate sufficient time to experience each piece and to read all of the artist's statements, but don't read them before you allow yourself to have a relationship with each work. Then see how well your feelings about the work and the artist's intention meld or don't. Well, that's Curtain Call for this week. Next week, I'll have a review of the Hui Noi Ao's annual juried show. Mahalo nui loa for tuning in. I'm Paul James Brown. A hui ho.